to try to slow down Garvin.
Had a double-double with 5 assists and several steals. Antela beats Ross on the opening tap. Pass in underneath. The defense recovers to Chelsea Johnson as Eckerd attacks the left end of the floor in their home whites. Road blues for the PBA Sailfish. Right of the lane, Chelsea Johnson under the basket, bounces a pass out left corner. Denon on the drive, righty shot too strong, battle on the glass, and Eckerd is going to keep possession underneath. And an early foul.
I like it. Right off the tip, they go and attack the basket, and you can see right into their chin cut. Good cut by Chelsea Johnson, and then a nice wraparound pass. The Tritons are trying to attack off the dribble early.
Ania Ross called for the foul. Double team came to Denon on the baseline. Wound up passing off the leg of a Sailfish player. And Yarden will take it out of bounds. Baseline right at the left end. Throws it out. Chelsea Johnson in rhythm. Knocks down a 3 to open the scoring.
Lost sight of Chelsea Johnson. It's an easy pass straight on the basket. That's where you get a shooting drill. And she's able to get the Tritons. But a nice execution on the out of bounds underneath, and just a little bit of a breakdown for the Sailfish.
Officials for this afternoon's game, Mike Roman, Anthony Apollonenro, and David Nitz. Three-pointer goes up from the left wing from Garvin. Comes off the back iron, and Eckerd wins the battle for the long rebound. Denon with the floater left that one short, and the rebound comes to Garvin for the Sailfish. Long hit ahead, and it leads to a near layup at the other end for Cumbie, but it bounces out. Frenetic pace as Yarden Denon brings it back down the floor for Eckerd.
Two good looks by both teams, just couldn't quite get it to finish. And both teams kind of got lucky there that those layups weren't able to get through the basket.
Antela off the mark in the post. Sailfish at the other end, 90 seconds gone by. And a pass zipped from Garvin toward Cumbie, tipped on the way there. Eckerd takes back possession, risky pass ahead, baseline jumper. Chelsea Johnson, 2 of 2 from the floor. And just like on Wednesday night, she's off to a hot start with 5 early points. Smooth in transition, ball fake, and improves the position. Just solid individual basketball there by Chelsea Johnson. Salia, Garvin, Cumbie, handoff back to Salia. You can see Angela really cheating and playing on the inside, almost kind of like not even respecting the outside shot. That's going to be an interesting dynamic as we see how that unfolds as Sailfish get on the board. Well, there's Garvin with a very strong drive. Chelsea Johnson underneath, whips it back out. Lal is open on the left wing for the triple. A lot of confidence right now, and you can just see it in there as the shot releases. The Tritons feeling really confident from the outside, and a couple nice looks here early on. Salia was just late on the closeout as they tried to double again on the baseline. Salia moves it along over to Deshazier. Denon on her. Deshazier's pass tipped by Denon and stolen by Denon right in front of the Eckerd bench. You can see Denon almost kind of got into a nice little zone. She ball faked. Count the basket for Octavia Lal. She'll head to the line for a 3-point play. And a great finish, all because of the defense. Denon, like I was saying, she was guarded, and then she kind of sagged off and took away the passing angle, and then she gets a steal. Great job by Lal. Get out there ahead of the break, and a nice offense, defense to offense sequence there for the Tritons. 10-2 Eckerd racing out of the gate. Foul on Salia, so she and Ross each have one. Now Lal completes the 3-point play. It's 11-2, just over 3 minutes in. 2 3-pointers, a 3-point play, and a 16-foot jumper from the baseline so far for the Tritons. Full court pressure. Garvin double team just over midcourt, able to get it away to Cumbie. Deshazier thought about attacking, but will back it back out, and it's a reset. Victoria Self onto the floor to run point. And that was a good possession to show the press, because Sailfish are not a threat from 3-point range. Good take by Deshazier. Drew rim with the shot, but it goes over the end line out of bounds during the rebounding action, and over to Eckerd with 6:27 to go, first quarter. You can see they're really playing loose on the perimeter, the Tritons are, so they're able to really pack it inside, and then that press, they were able to trap hard and just not really. The Sailfish are going to have to
make some adjustments on their offense to either generate some drives from the perimeter or to just try to knock down a couple of perimeter shots to really move this Triton defense.
Tremendous zip on the passes. Eckerd whipping the ball around. Law, 14-footer in the lane, off to the right, no good. Rebound pulled away in transition. A handoff by Cumbie and a pass in down low off the fingertips of Ania Ross and out of bounds.
It's again good solid defense and just a little enough to presence to harass and kind of shut off those angles, forcing those turnovers.
Palm Beach Atlantic has turned it over 3 times, and there's been a couple other 50-50 opportunities that Eckerd has won to get out in transition. 5:45 to go, first quarter, an 11-2 lead. White-Eye, Denon at the free throw line, hands it back out to Abby. Denon left all alone left wing, drains the 3.
It's another breakdown defensively, losing sight of ball and man. Denon, that's an easy shot when there's nobody in front of her.
And that is a welcome sight for Yarden Denon. She has been trying to get going offensively. Gets a wide open look there. Self on the drive, doesn't draw a rim. White-Eye, great steal off and the rebound with those long arms. Denon open again, this time passes up the shot. Lowell on the drive, draws a crowd. And near steal there, Self jumps out on the pass to Johnson. Denon tries another 3, high carom. And the Tritons retreat on defense this time and concede the rebound.
It's a good look, and she didn't miss that by much. When you're missing short or long, you're right there dialed in. It's when you start missing left or right, and that time Denon just a little long on that shot. But another good look.
Cumbie misses, look away pass, Denon to Lull. Lull is fouled hard, and we'll head to the free throws coming for Octavia Lull. Foul on Jonica Garvin before the media timeout. First free throw is too strong for Lull. Second free throw good. The Tritons on a 10-0 run. And here comes that full court pressure again.
And Coach Hunsinger really does a good job throwing this, almost kind of lulling them not to expect it. And once again, they get a nice job getting to a little bit of a trap. But all of that does, too, is gets them out of rhythm and takes time off the shot clock for them to actually get into their offensive set.
13-point lead for the Tritons. Substitutions for each team. We'll reset the 5 on the floor momentarily. Garvin on the drive, an offensive foul. That's her second personal. And far and away the leading scorer for the Sailfish this season. Now saddled with foul trouble and has to head out as Ross returns. So the 5 on the floor for Palm Beach Atlantic. Cumbie, Self, Charles, Stang, and now Ross back in. And for the Tritons, Jude, Law, White-Eye, Larinaga, and Richards.
A nice job by Zoe Richards moving into the zone, into the lane and taking that charge.
White-Eye with the 3, and Abby White-Eye is pure from distance.
And a good look right there by Zoe Richards to Abby White-Eye. Once again, another just wide open look. For the Tritons from outside, they're shooting well, but they're also shooting unguarded. And that's going to make that percentage go up when you're taking those types of easy shots.
Tritons are 4 of 5 from deep here in the first quarter. An 18-2 lead. Pass to the corner and a travel. Aubrey Myers was trying to tiptoe the end line, avoided stepping out, but traveled in the process.
Self's done a nice job showing she can get to the basket. That time she throws the pass, but because she had left her feet, pass was a little bit high and just a tough position that forces the turnover. So the Sailfish is completely out of sync right now in the first 6 minutes of this game. And they're going to have to try to get some points now that Garvin's on the bench from somebody else.
Keeney and Howard check in. It's the entire second unit now. Jude is blocked. Got blocked from behind there by Charles. Keeney kicks it out. Larinaga moves. Zoe Richards low on the right side. The 5th 3 of the game for Eckerd. It's 21-2.
A little bit better defense there by the Sailfish. Nice block inside, but couldn't finish the play. And then once again, low side of Zoe, and she's capable of knocking it down from outside, as she's shown over the last year and this year so far.
I think Coach Hansinger really likes how this second unit played together in those minutes Wednesday night. And looking to see more of the same here on Saturday. Back cut and a lay-in up and good for Sierra Cumbie. Snaps a 16-0 run for the Tritons.
Well, good piece of offense there by the Sailfish, and they needed something like that to go. But I think you're right, Nate. They got a lot of minutes on Wednesday
and that really gives them the confidence. Larinaga books a three-pointer, and most of these, I would say, five of the six makes have been uncontested.
And that was just a simple drive into the lane. The defense collapsed, and it's just an easy pass. That's a shooting drill that every team does, catch and shoot from the outside.
24 points for the Tritons here in the first quarter. They may challenge the school record for points in a quarter again. Still 2 minutes remaining. Down in the post, Ross is doubled. Her shot comes off the back iron. Keeney clears the glass for the Tritons and leads the push ahead. Here's Keeney. Off the dribble drive, into the paint, bounces down, layup, up and in for Zoe Richards. Just textbook for the Tritons.
I tell you, that play starts with just phenomenal body. You're right. I mean, then having players that are multi-dimensional, can have multiple skills. You don't have to find the point guard every time. They can fill their lane and fill their spots. And this team is showing some real mental toughness, too, and just their ability to understand that difference.
26 for the score. Shot goes up, Victoria South.
And, this is the way that you can try to get back in the game. Get yourself some opportunities at the free throw line. And left-handed player, she's a freshman. So this is one of those players that you can start seeing Coach Rita's trying to bring into the program and really build the program around her. But so far, I've really liked the energy she's brought in off the bench for the Sailfish.
Self, a freshman from Tampa, goes 1 of 2 at the line, and just a wall of box out there for the Tritons. Haley Howard was assessed the foul that sent Self to the line. 26-5 is the Eckerd lead.
And you can see that was a point of emphasis in practice this week, was boxing out, rebounding. Every shot goes up. The Tritons are finding a body to put themselves on and box out.
The ball movement has been sensational, too. Juday gets doubled. Haley Howard open up top. Her shot lifts out. It almost seems surprising to see a three-pointer miss at this point for the Tritons.
Another great look. Good job by Brooke Juday handling the double team and finding the open shooter. And once again, that didn't look like that was off by much.
Final minute of the first quarter. It has been a Tritons blitz of the Sailfish, 26-5. Handled by Self out top. Hands off to Taylor Labs. And Labs, a junior from Minnesota, drains the first three for PBA.
That's a good, solid distance there. That was about 28 feet. And another good shot. The Sailfish trying to stick around and do some things inside. We're on the offensive side to try to stick around.
Foul away from the ball, down in the post, and that will send Zoe Richards, I believe, Brooke Juday to the free throw line. It was Labs who just hit the three, called for an off-ball foul.
And Brooke coming off her career high on Wednesday, and you said it, she had a great game against Lynn, and just finding that confidence. Another player that has done a little bit of everything. She does a good job playing post and interior defense, can rebound the ball well, can shoot it, and now she can also play inside. Nice little inside-out opportunity for Zoe Richards, which allows her to come out on the perimeter and stroke the three, which she's more than capable of doing as well.
1 of 2 at the line for Brooke Juday. And she's not someone who has to score a ton to really make a positive impact. Early in the season, though, she wasn't looking for her shot at all. She's played with so much more confidence at that offensive end over the course of these last 3 games.
And that's the important part. When you're not playing early, it's important to stay in there. Nice steal by Zoe.
Here's a steal for Richards. Only 5 seconds remaining. Long toss ahead. Juday with a 15-footer off the back iron. No. But the Tritons lead 27-8. Roaring out of the gates on 9 made baskets. Pretty sensational.
And 0 turnovers. Once again, you look at that assist-to-turnover ratio, and I think any coach, knowing that they got 0 turnovers in a quarter, will take it. And you can see those are the things and ways you build this type of lead this early in the game.
Jonica Garvin back in with 2 fouls, turns it over, looking to pass down onto the baseline. 12 seconds into the second quarter, the Tritons have it back. It is still the full second unit on the floor for Coach Hansinger. Juday, Keeney, Howard, Larinaga, and Richards. Palm Beach Atlantic has Cumby, DeShazier, Salia, Labs, and Garvin. So 4 starters, only Ross not out there. Tremendous take.
Into the basket, a great piece of individual offensive sequence there by Zoe Richards.
Richards knocks down the free throw. And she has 8 points now already.
So Brooke Juday, we're going back to her, what we were saying at the end. She's going to be matched up with Garvin, but just one of those chances A nice job by Howard to tie it up and force a turnover, but you have to stay. My point earlier was she didn't play a couple games that many minutes as I'm sure she would have liked, but she stayed in it, and now that her number's called, she is really doing some great things over the last week, and this is going to be very helpful. This is a great matchup for her to just continue to build that confidence.
Great hands by Haley Howard on the tie-up. Keeney gets great position inside, a high-low feed, and an uncontested lay-in. Richards with the assist, going high-low with Keeney. It's 32-8. Jude was the only one really back there, had to adjust late onto DeShazier with a good take.
Nice pass by Haley Howard again. Just kind of looked off the defense, and no one matched up with Zoe Richards. And once again, 3 easy possessions again. And Palm Beach has got to start looking at what they're going to try to do, change defensively, get this Triton offense out of rhythm. They are just just operating at high efficiency right now.
Eckerd with 10 assists and 0 turnovers. Jonica Garvin, the whole defense swarms to her. Lara Nega with an incredible box out, just disposing of Sierra Cumby there. Now Haley Howard dribbles into a crowd, stripped away by Salia. Leads to a break the other way. DeShazier and unable to finish on the break, and an offensive foul. DeShazier clearing space, called for her first personal.
And that's a point, 4 years ago, that's probably a block because she's moving, but Larinaga did beat her to the spot, and so she had the right in the, I would have maybe made a no call there, but a great piece of defense there by Larinaga, beating the offensive player to the spot. I know the fans aren't happy about that call because she was moving. But just a nice piece of defense and not giving up on after a turnover on this side, the first turnover of the game.
Garvin jumps the passing lane there, but can't secure possession. 8:10 to go in the first half, a 24-point lead. Second straight turnover. Howard thought Keeney was going to cut back door there. Keeney instead popped out to the wing looking for the 3. And just a miscommunication.
Keeney immediately looked at her and said, that was my bad. And on this Princeton offense, if you cut, you got to go. You can't stop. And she recognizes that's not a pass on Howard. Howard will get the turnover, but that's because she stopped the cut. And once you make that effort to cut, you've got to cut. You can't come back.
Ania Ross loses the ball off her leg and out of bounds, and Coach Hansinger is getting used to doing this. The hockey substitution goes 5 for 5.
I tell you, he's got to love those minutes. That second group, really fantastic job. 16 points off the bench for them, and that's just high. It's showing this how well they're running their offense.
And the offense starting to clog up a bit. A steal there on the backdoor cut. Garvin swings it back out. Salia. Garvin has position against White Eye, but the double team from Antilla disrupts her. Garvin just battling there. There's 4 defenders around her and cannot finish.
And you can see just how aggressive Garvin is in attacking that basket, but the Tritons throwing 3 bodies at her, make it really tough.
And a kicked ball there.
Now going back to that last turnover by the Tritons, that backdoor pass, and that's one of the things that you really want to try to teach these players to be able to do it with a fall-through dribble, a one-handed pass when you have to put 2 hands on it and kind of wind up. That allows the defense to recover when they get beat on the back door.
Abby White-Eye swatted by Ross on the drive.
A nice job by Ross to come off Antilla there and be able to add some help defense after Abby White-Eye beat her defender on the backdoor cut.
The Eckerd bench unit generated 16 points. The starters have 18. Just tremendous play up and down the roster, which is what Coach Hansinger wants. He does not have bench warmers on his roster. He has a 10-player roster, and everybody plays, and everybody knows their role.
And that's an important element. And as you said, a lot of these players on both units do multiple things. So he's got multiple ball handlers out there, multiple rebounders defensively. And I think that's the one area he's got to be really happy about right now.
Offensive foul called that time. Elbow jab by Lall to clear space.
But how well the Tritons are rebounding right now is something that you could see is a major emphasis from Thursday, Friday practice.
So it's 34-10. Eckerd in front over Palm Beach Atlantic. 6:50 to go in this second quarter.
A lot of standing around on the other side. And you can see right now they're just playing on one side of the floor, and the other players, Garvin that time was standing and watching, Ross was standing and watching. So in order to get this offense and make the defense work, you got to have 5 players moving at the same time to try to create some advantages.
Chelsea Johnson, tremendous hand, steals it away from Jonica Garvin and gets ahead, extends the left arm to scoop it up and in and protect the basketball from the trailing defender.
And she attacked the rim, so that way the only way that block could have happened was trying to go through her. And once again, you're seeing some of this individual workout and development from these players. Chelsea Johnson just putting together just another great game here early on offensively.
8 of the 10 Eckerd College players have scored already, 36-10 lead. Another turnover by Palm Beach Atlantic on the post entry. That's a dozen for the Sailfish. Law, backdoor pass toward Chelsea Johnson, knocked away. The Tritons have turned it over 5 times in this quarter. And there's Garvin on the drive. Count the basket. Tremendous finish and a wise decision just to attempt the shot. When she
her going and get the Sailfish going.
Free throw good for Garvin. She's got 5 points. Still saddled with the 2 fouls, but has avoided the 3rd.
I'm saying that's a nice job on her part, and she's now going to the bench. But good minutes there by that Garvin provided to the Sailfish to stay out of foul trouble and not picking up that 3rd, but also nice 3-point play there.
Antela screens for Law on the left side. Law into the paint, winds up getting blocked from behind. Ball bounces over the end line and over to Palm Beach Atlantic.
They're trying to start turning the ball over. Their offense is a little struggling now. Doesn't look like Palm Beach really had shifted anything in there. They're still playing that man-to-man defense, just doing a much better job communicating and really trying to clog up the lanes on those drives.
Sometimes it really is as simple as win your one-on-one matchups, and Palm Beach Atlantic doing that with much greater success in this quarter as the rim swallows Sierra Cumbie's turnaround jumper. It's 36-15.
That's a nice move by Cumbie there. She used everything that was there in the basket.
Denon gets walled off on the drive. Antela 17 feet from the basket. Thought about the shot, but passes back out. Still plenty of time on the possession. Turnaround, spinning to the left. Antela scores in the paint.
Solid move by Antela. And you can see just some of this development from freshman year. You've seen that with two seniors, Antela and Chelsea Johnson. They've just gotten better each year. And that's a solid move that we probably wouldn't have seen 2 years ago by Antela. But just a nice turnaround right over the top. Has the confidence to make that move. Nice job there.
First 2 points for Army. 4:40 to go in the second quarter. Dribble drive by Katie Stang. Turns it over on the right block. Antela winds up with the basketball.
Nice piece of defense there with the footwork. Just continuing to work on fronting and three-quarter front. Nice job again, Antela. Back-to-back plays.
A dribble handoff play. Dribble pass, then the handoff back to Denon from Antela, but short on the shot. Sailfish bring it the other way. On the drive, Self with the left hand, no, and Denon snags the rebound off the right side of the rim.
Good swing.
Chelsea Johnson all by herself in the right corner. What do you think?
As soon as, you knew that was going in. She was wide open. She ran to her spot. Nice pass by Abby White-Eye and delivered it right on the money, right in the shooter's pocket. And it's just an easy shot. It's like a layup right now for Chelsea Johnson when it's that open.
Johnson was 5 for her first 5 on Wednesday night. She's 4 for her first 4 today and is in double figures with 10. Victoria Self moves it along, staying with it. Now Labs. Labs had that deep 3 early in the first quarter. Gets stuck here without her dribble. Chelsea Johnson all over her. Finally, Self comes to help. 3 on the shot clock. A wild shot, draws nothing. Shot clock violation over to the Tritons. And that also brings us to the media timeout with 3:28 to media timeout. Coach Hansinger doing some mixing and matching as he puts Zoe Richards in with a lineup that otherwise features 4 of the starters. 3:22 to go in this second quarter, and Eckerd leading 41-15. White-Eye's pass to a cutting Richards is intercepted. Jonica Garvin pulls up from 18, too strong on the jumper. Brian Halstead and Nate March here with you. It's been a tremendous afternoon so far for the Tritons. Denon in rhythm, plants her feet in transition, and knocks down a triple.
1-2 step, and then nothing but net. And a nice job by, once again, transition, just getting into the spot. They're going to put one on the wing, one in the corner, and the defense has got to choose. That time they went to Chelsea Johnson, opens up an easy shot for Denon.
An athletic steal by Chelsea Johnson, read it the whole way, goes to the basket, finishes with the right hand, gliding from about 7 feet out to finish, and she is 5 of 5 from the floor with 12 points.
Chelsea Johnson has not missed this year. Or at least it feels like her first 10 shots of both games. I have to go back and look what she did for sure on Wednesday, but just once again showing just how skilled she is offensively.
Darsan DeShazier with the 3, the second of the game for the Sailfish. It's 46-18. Tritons are 8 of 10 from deep. Zoe Richards left of the lane, bodied up one-on-one by Claudia Charles. Handoff, Law. Charles switches on to Law. Law shoots over her on the switch. Zoe Richards takes advantage. An easy offensive rebound. The center point guard switch, and Richards had an easy battle to win there in the size department.
And just generate that mismatch. A nice job forcing that switch, and then nice job by Octavia Lowell. Gets the defender up and loses her footing.
Garvin too strong with the left hand. And out ahead of the pack, Denon on the long hit ahead, scores with the right hand, and Eckerd halfway to the century mark here in the first half.
And it starts with a great rebound and just getting it up ahead and running the floor. And the Tritons have they kind of bottlenecked a little bit there in the first few minutes of the half, but now they're running in transitions to open up some easy shots for them.
50-18. A 3 goes up and careens away. Claudia Charles with the triple try. 32-point lead for the Tritons. They scored 106 points on Wednesday night. Richards, one dribble, pulls up, doesn't shoot, finds White-Eye cutting, spins back to the right, but couldn't find the rim and airballs the shot. A rebound for the Sailfish and a foul in the rebounding action.
And you see Zoe Richards showing a real good job of being able to distribute the basketball, passing it really well there. And, you know, the great cut there. And Abby White, I think, was surprised how close and how open she really was under that basket.
49 seconds to go and counting as the Sailfish come up the floor. More substitutions. Eckerd here in the final minute has Law out there with 4 substitutes. So Haley Howard, the only one of that second unit who's not in at the moment. Keeney, Larinaga, Jude, and Richards all out there. Very athletic drive from Mina Salia, the redshirt senior from Toronto. Gets Palm Beach Atlantic back within 30. And Eckerd will hold for the final shot as Law backs it out to the center circle.
A real nice piece of offense there by Salia. And couple plays, individual plays, but just not consistent enough, and this is why it's a 30-point difference right now.
Law looks to go off the dribble, still has the basketball, spins away and banks it off the window, did a full 360, got back to facing the rim. Time expires for Eckerd, Law, Denon, Antela, Johnson, and White-Eye. Third quarter underway with Palm Beach Atlantic moving from right to left in their road blues.
So some just natural switches there. Nice hedge there by Antela early on, and Ross has got to be more active there.
Garvin was trying to go up, and Chelsea Johnson got a hand in there and deflected the ball away as she was trying to raise it to shoot. Denon, one dribble, dribbles into a screen for Law. A weave up top, winds up with the ball in Chelsea Johnson's hands. The ball doesn't stick anywhere for Long. Long 2, and Chelsea Johnson just short, but Law sneaks in to secure the long rebound and keep possession for the Tritons. A great give and go. Denon and Law leads to an easy 2 for Yarden Denon.
So a nice little piece of wrinkle to the chin cut that they often do. Usually they're going to swing it across and you're going to get a diagonal UCLA cut. That time they went ball side. That UCLA cut's still there, and it's just an easy 2-man passing game right there. Nice cut, nice pass, and a good execution of the chin set that Coach Hunsinger likes to use.
Pull-up jumper misses everything for Salia. And once again, the Tritons are all over the glass. Up the far side of the court, Law with the basketball. Over a minute gone by in this third quarter. 34-point lead for the Tritons. High-low, Antela in the post. Denon uses the window and scores. And Denon in double figures, and now with a dozen for the Tritons.
And a nice little shifty move. She faked going back towards her right and then went back to left, and that was enough to create the space to get that shot up over the top of the defender. Nice job by Denon, showing some offensive skill there.
Double team on Jonica Garvin, but she was able to get the pass away to DeShazier, who got fouled by Chelsea Johnson. And we highlighted Garvin, who spent 2 seasons of her first 3 years of college playing in the SEC, finishing out her college career here, averaging better than 15 a game. Tritons have made her work for everything, and she rushes the catch-and-shoot jumper off the inbounds, and it leads to another chance for Eckerd to get off and running. Chelsea Johnson, pass back out, Denon, long three, short. Once again, Law able to sneak in and tie up the ball and force a jump ball with the arrow favoring Eckerd.
Nice piece of hustle there and keeping those second chance points alive and those 50-50 balls. That's another thing that you can just see when you're down by 36. You know, those are ways you can try to get back and get into the game, and Tritons continue to dominate those 50-50 balls.
And Law gets bumped and fouled by Darsan DeShazier out top. 2 minutes gone by in the third quarter, and Eckerd has scored 4 points, nothing so far for the Sailfish. We do have the men's game coming up following this afternoon's women's contest, as the Eckerd men, who did not play on Wednesday, will be back in action against Palm Beach Atlantic for a conference game. And once again, that high-low, Antela to Denon. This time she's swatted from behind. Cumby with the block, and that gets PBA off and running.
Nice piece of adjustment there by Cumby there on the move.
And Ross is able to score, spinning back to her right, elevating, hanging, and hitting with the right hand.
And a nice piece. She stepped towards that ball and demanded it in the position, in the post, that possession, the post. Earlier when there was a head situation, she really didn't dive as strongly looking for that basketball.
Antela lost her angle trying to turn back to the left against Ross. And on the drive, Garvin called for her second offensive foul of the game.
And that's a good piece of defense. I mean, Chelsea Johnson, once again, you run to a spot, and then you got to try and make it tough. And, you know, good piece of defense there. Chelsea Johnson.
Not much offense to speak of. First 3 minutes here of the third quarter. Only 6 total points scored. And Chelsea Johnson is cut off on her back cut, so she posts up. And Chelsea Johnson has a chance for a three-point play. Gets physical with Mina Salia. And we'll head to the free throw line.
Offensive player, and you can't do that. The offensive player has the right to jump straight up. And Chelsea Johnson, aggressive post and finishing, showing her ability to score at different parts on the floor.
Free throw off the mark. And the pass ahead for Ross led her too far, out of bounds, and back over to Eckerd.
A little bit of a communication breakdown there. I don't know if that's who Garvin wanted to go to. Instead, I'm wondering if she trying to get it. I think it was Cumby that might have been up there ahead of time, and Ross was just running through the lane and just kind of knocked it out.
Denon left wing, and Law on the back cut missed everything. Rushed her shot from the left side of the rim. Purses her lips in frustration. And I don't think she realized just how open she was.
And it's a great wrinkle. You know, typically you're setting that screen, and it's the post player kind of go down there. Tavia Lowe was setting the back screen, saw that they jumped to the three-point. She rolled instead. It was a nice read, and that's one of the things that you really like about the Princeton offense is it really requires, as Garvin knocks that down, but it requires a lot of reading the defense. And it's a mental offense, and you've got to be able to know how the defense is playing and how you adjust.
Eckerd has moved the basketball superbly, but that time Denon's pass deflected. Still winds up in the hands of Chelsea Johnson. Oh, my goodness. Chelsea Johnson just muscles the ball up to the rim and gets it over the lip and in. She has 14 now.
And just
make it 16.
Quite the score. I mean, she just has the ability to score different positions, really strong in the post, and just shows some of that strength in that offseason workouts, why it becomes such an important thing to get strong.
60-24, Eckerd in front. Jonica Garvin hit from behind. Antela knew it. Thought she might get away with it. But the whistle from the backside.
Situation that you want to push because the right call was made. Antela fouled. What you want to do is you're going to try to, make a case for yourself.
Hard to really come up with a reason to take that in a 36-point game. Free throw made by Garvin, although I suppose if you want to get a technical that's not going to hurt you at all, take a technical when you're down by 3 dozen.
Right.
Would be the flip side of that.
And Coach Reed is still pleading her case, and oftentimes that's what ends up happening. You see an official, when they do call a technical, they go to the opposite floor, and they have one of their partners come in and try to de-escalate it, and, you know, that's a common move there, and, you know, but, you know, it just, that's not where the technical, you know, that's not the type of play. The call was the right call. It just may have been a little bit delayed. But as long as the call is the right call, that's really, as a coach, what you ask for.
Eckerd with the 5-for-5 substitution. Richards, Howard, Jude, Keeney, and Larinaga out there on the floor with 5.5 minutes to go in the third quarter and a huge lead. Howard got caught at the right elbow, able to pass it off. Richards missed the jumper from the right side, and then just miscommunication on the rebounding. 3 Sailfish converge, and none of them wind up securing the basketball. It goes out of bounds to Eckerd.
It's one of those games you can't catch a break, but I say it was a great job rebounding, boxing out there by DeShazier, and just couldn't quite corral it.
Catch and shoot, Zoe Richards with the 18-footer for 2.
Hey, such a nice job. She caught it right there about her chest, and the ball never dropped. Just right there in her shooting pocket. You know, and a lot of times players will have a hitch, and so there's that release becomes slower when they have to drop that ball down. That time she caught it, went straight up, and shot in rhythm.
Garvin turnaround jumper, knocks it down. She's starting to find her stroke. Too little too late, though, with Palm Beach Atlantic surrendering the big early lead and just digging too big of a hole for themselves here. Here's Jude down in the post against DeShazier. Her shot rolls off, and Labs has the rebound for PBA.
DeShazier, nice job there defensively, getting real big, and now that time was an example of elbows to ears and making it really tough.
Double team comes on Jonica Garvin. Down into the right corner. Comes back out. Long three-pointer. Rims around and goes down for Ebolola Oyadeji.
That's another long three-point shot there, and not bad defense, just better offense.
64-31, Triton's in front. Haley Howard on the drive, and a blocking foul called. And that's the 5th foul, so Haley Howard, who is the only looking to record her first points of the game at the stripe, and knocks down the first freebie at 65-31.
Give Palm Beach Atlantic some credit. Their offense is starting to click a little bit for their last 4 field goals. You know, once again, they're a little too late, but they are starting to try to do a little bit different wrinkles, getting the ball, and Garvin, of course, showing some of her ability to make some tough shots.
66-31, Eckerd in front, all 10 Triton's players have scored. There's Garvin, another tough turnaround. This time Keeney is able to wrap her arms around the rebound.
Nice job by Larinaga making her fade away there. That's just a tough shot. That type of fade away that far away from the basket. And the strong double team by Zoe really just made Garvin another, just making her work uncomfortable position.
Richards, a strong take into the body of Sierra Cumby. Scores with the left hand, 68-31.
Zoe Richards, you know, she finishes so well with the left hand. You know, she's kind of ambidextrous in the way she shoots it, and just uses her body so well.
Drive down underneath, ball goes out of bounds, stays with the Sailfish. And Zoe Richards now has matched Chelsea Johnson with 16 points. Both are 7 of 8 from the floor.
It's high efficiency there for both players, and they're taking good shots.
Bounce pass in underneath, tipped away from Garvin, stays once again with the Sailfish right under the basket. Baseline right. Oyadeji throws it in. Garvin, long 2, front rim, no. Rebound tapped around. Oyadeji gets it back, but then her attempt to outlet tipped by Larinaga into the hands of Richards. And the Tritons go back on the offensive with 3 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Larinaga was looking for an angle to enter to Richards there. Richards being fronted. And now a cut across the lane. Larinaga receives the pass and a foul drawn. And that'll lead to a couple more free throws.
And once again on the cutter, you got free access to cut. And that time Looks like there was a little bit of a hold or a kind of a block on that cut. Nice job by Larinaga.
First free throw, nothing but net. 69-31. Second free throw good as well, 70-31. Triton still with a chance to get to the century mark for a second straight game, which I can't imagine has happened in program history. It was 17 years in between those 206-point performances. Cumbie into a crowd, but gets the roll. Just threw it up on the rim, and it bounced on home.
Nice touch there by Cumbie. That's a tough shot over the outstretched arms of Richards. But a nice, solid move, and I thought she would have gotten a little bit going earlier, but she just hasn't really had a lot of opportunities tonight.
Keeney with a great ball fake to get Cumbie in the air, then bounces it underneath. Richards throws it back out. Keeney with the three, no! And the glass is cleared by Cumbie, who whips it ahead to Garvin. Garvin steps into another long two, too strong. Haley Howard skies for the board.
That's where I would like to see Garvin try to attack the basket a little bit. You're really showing some physical ability to really play physical, and to just settle for a 17-foot pull-up is just not the best offense.
A wild scramble for the basketball. Palm Beach Atlantic comes away with it. 70-33. Labs on the drive, floats it up. Too short with those long arms. She was almost able to tap the rebound to herself, but Keeney able to rip it away.
Nice job by Keeney. Showing some multiple dimensions to her game.
Larinaga moves it over to Keeney. Foul away from the bat. Nope, it's a 3-second violation against Brooke Jude.
That's going to make the Palm Beach fans happy. They've been screaming 3 seconds all game and finally get their call.
A minute 23 to go in the third quarter. And this is a game that really has never been in doubt. It was 27-8 after a single quarter. Now, really hasn't gotten any closer. Haley Howard hounding Victoria South. Howard taps it out of bounds. Labs throwing it in on the side out of bounds. Back to Self, works around the screen. Jonica Garvin looking to go off the dribble. Stolen away by Larinaga. Bounce pass ahead, Jude, 2 steps and a gliding lefty lay-in.
And a nice pass. She gave that up right at the perfect time. You know, another extra dribble or two, and that lane and that angle would have been taken away, but a nice job giving that ball up and good finish. It looked like Jude took one across the head there. A nice concentration finish with the left.
Labs looking for her second three, no. Foul call that will send Eckerd to the other end for free throws. I wish we had a camera angle where we could just keep a camera on Octavia Law on the bench whenever she's out of the game. I think she exerts nearly as much energy on celebrations of her teammates' baskets over there as she does scoring her own.
Well, and that's part of those, that's what builds that team chemistry. Everyone's unselfish. I think you're right. You see some of the great, I think she did the swim move on Wednesday.
She was literally on the floor swimming.
But you want to see that, and and I always think that that's an important part of how, you play. I've seen some teams even have their assistant coaches split up amongst the bench players, just so that way they're always in the game. So easy to just kind of start being disconnected when you're not playing or you're sitting the bench or in a game where you're up 40. And the fact that they're still in there on every second, every shot, every possession, just, that just speaks of the camaraderie amongst his team, but also the leadership as well.
18 points for Zoe Richards after that 2 of 2 trip to the line. Tritons are 12 of 15 at the charity stripe and lead 74-33. Tritons have scored at least 20 points in all 3 quarters. Labs, an off-balance shot, was nearly able to force a tie-up after it, but the Tritons come away with the basketball and can take the final shot of the third quarter. Keeney moves it along. Larinaga dribble drive, draws a crowd, kick to the corner. Haley Howard up on her toes, off the front rim, no. 3 seconds remaining, and Garvin dribbles out the final seconds of the third quarter at 4:33 after 3 quarters gone by here on the campus of Eckerd College. Ryan Halstead and Nate March here with you.
Another game that the second unit's going to get a lot of minutes, and that just continues to help them as their confidence.
3 off the back iron, tapped around, and Garvin able to secure it, but then throws the ball back out into the backcourt. Larinaga, great hustle, tracks it down in the right corner, finds Keeney, but an offensive foul, lowered her shoulder like a battering ram, and charge drawn there by Salia.
Good piece of hustling there. I like how Keeney just couldn't quite come to the jump stop ahead. Nice job by Palm Beach trying to earn their first charge of the game.
Salia, Self, Garvin, Charles, and Stang. The 5 on the floor for Palm Beach Atlantic. Brooke Jude with the rebound off Salia's miss from the left wing. We do apologize. We've had some technical difficulties with our score graphic. It is 74-33. Eckerd currently in the lead. Zoe Richards in a crowd. Winds up getting the basketball back. Kicks it out to Keeney, who rolls home a 3.
And once again, that pass coming straight on. That's how shooting drills work. You looking dead onto the basket, easy shot. Keeney once again showing her ability to knock down the outside shot.
Self hangs in the air, can't score, but will get a pair of free throws. Tritons, a game after hitting a school record 23 pointers, have made 9 on just 14 attempts today. 77-33. And Victoria Self, the freshman from Tampa, at the free throw line for a pair of free throws. Off the mark with the first one. Notice this when she was shooting early. She sort of angles her body at the line when she shoots these free throws.
A little bit turned, and you always want your shoulders going right towards the middle of the basket. And you're right. She kind of turns it. Those shoulders look like they're going towards the check-in table.
Shots from out, but she winds up with her own miss and draws another foul. That time it was the Tritons who just kind of all conceded the rebound to each other, and no one wound up securing it. So Self gets 2 more tries. She is 1 of 4 at the free throw stripe in the game. Got that one. 77-34, and 1 more free throw coming.
And even her feet are angled, so that's an unusual, unorthodox setup at the free throw line. Everything's going towards like the locker rooms. And you always want your shooting foot, to be at the back of the rim or at the front of the rim, but straight on.
And Keeney called for, or no, actually, that's going to be
foul on Richards. It looked like a block.
Richards away from the ball.
Moving screen, it looked like. She kind of moving and preventing Garvin from coming through, but that's one of those things when you're the coach Rita, you're like, now we're getting these calls. And I think she was complaining a little bit about that earlier in the game.
77-35. Stang knocks down the triple. Redshirt sophomore from Pennsylvania.
A high arcing shot. Nothing but net.
77-38. Keeney is stuck without her dribble. Jude comes to help her out. Keeney posts up against Garvin, kicks it back out. Jude keeps it moving. Defense recovers each time, though. Howard takes baseline. Her scoop under the basket, no. But Haley Howard able to dribble out of it. Keeney in the corner. Another 3 for Michaela Keeney. 10 threes in the game for the Tritons.
And wide open. Once again, Keeney just wrapped herself around, run through, and caught it on the corner and let it fly. Let it go. Once again, a wide open look for her.
Step back jumper, slides off the rim. That was Claudia Charles, a junior from Sweden. Just under 7.5 minutes to go in the game. Tritons rolling up 80-38, more than doubling up the opposition. Keeney left of the lane, backs in, keeps her pivot foot alive. This is a long 2 for Richards, and it's money.
Richards just really, she shoots it with her right hand, but you can see how deadly she is with the left, and she's just really a solid offensive player that can score different parts of the floor.
20 points on 8 of 10 shooting for Zoe today. This is Stang around the screen from Charles, gives it up to Charles.
Good piece of rotating defense there on the backside. Haley Howard came in, was able to hedge.
Salia, the rebound tapped by Jude into the hands of Keeney.
That's going to be her 6th. So once again, she's got 8 points, 6 rebounds. Keeney coming off the bench
and 3 assists.
And filling the stat.
Haley Howard, just a nonchalant pass that Garvin takes. Howard gets back to challenge and will force Jonica Garvin to go to the free throw line for 2.
Coach not happy with that turnover, a little too easy, but I like the hustle by Haley Howard, and she didn't give up, and now she has to earn it. And that, a lot of times you see that they don't hustle back, don't get back, it's a wide open layup, but a nice piece of hustle there by Haley Howard to try to contest, make her earn it the old-fashioned way. Another unorthodox routine there at the line. She goes through her leg. So 2 examples of setups that I just don't quite often see at the free throw line at any level. And
I've never seen that. She spun the ball around her leg before shooting it.
It's like a ball handling drill that you learn early on when you start getting into basketball.
Did not notice that earlier in the game.
It was a backwards spin to yourself around your left leg and then shoot it. Interesting.
4 or 5 at the free throw line today for Garvin. That's, I didn't even notice that on her earlier ones. It's interesting.
And I tell you what, when it comes to the free throw line, it's the same routine. That's what I tell my players when I was coaching. And just whatever it is, but keep it simple and do the same thing every time.
Another second chance opportunity for Eckerd after the 3-point miss by Haley Howard. Jude in the post, and with her size advantage, uses the glass and scores a pair.
And notice the advantage and mismatch, and Brooke Jude just goes right over the top. A nice solid post there.
84-39, 3 in the air, 3 in the net from Stang of the Sailfish. 84-42.
They have not been that bad from three-point range tonight. That's one of the bright spots for the Sailfish. They're 5 of 11, much better than their 28% entering into the game.
Kicked ball, Taylor Labs stuck the foot in there. Sierra Cumby back into the game for the Sailfish. 5:28 to go. Triton's doubling up PBA, 84-42. Men's game to follow. Jude drives down the lane and an offensive foul. She pushed off to create space that time.
Charge, Jude.
5:26 to go. Take a look at what else is going on around the Sunshine State Conference on this Saturday, the 5th of January, 2019. Turnover out top by the Sailfish. Barry is visiting Rollins. Florida Tech at home against Nova Southeastern. Embry-Riddle and St. Leo meeting in Daytona Beach. And over in Lakeland, Lynn is on the road at Florida Southern.
It'll be a good matchup there with Florida Southern and Lynn. It'll be something to keep the eyes on the women's side. 2 of the top teams facing off here this Saturday.
Keeney got Cumby up in the air. Doesn't get by her, though. Then launches a 3, and Keeney's in double figures.
Back to back, and that's a tough shot. To shoot off the dribble, ball fake, relocate, and just nothing but net. Such a pure looking shot, and it's a very simple shot. Her stroke is very compact.
Stang another triple try, no. Ross the offensive rebound for Palm Beach Atlantic. It's 87-42. Stang with the head fake, this time off the dribble. Long kick out, Labs over a leaping Jude, no. And Richards able to grab the rebound for Eckerd.
You can see the difference in that shot. That pass, was low and just not an easy catch for Labs to be able to get that shot off.
Triton shooting 55% from the floor, 65% from 3 in the game. Jude off the dribble, and she is ranking that shot home.
And she just, once again, doing a little bit of everything as well. And she's done a really good job. Let's give credit to the combination of Jude, Wide-Eye, Denon, Keeney, all making it very tough on Garvin tonight.
Stang tries again. Front rim, no. Rebound for Keeney, her 8th.
And Garvin finishing at 4 of 16 with 12 points, well under her scoring average, but just 25%.
Richards, an uncontested look. Book it. 92-42. 23 points for Zoe Richards.
And this is now one of those where they're playing in the zone, just letting the kind of things go. Both teams going to fire up some threes, got to try to finish it. Long shot, long rebound, but
Stang another miss. That brings us to the media timeout. College Triton. Zoe Richards now 3 points shy of her career high of 26. And PBA with the basketball. 3:06 to go.
A little extra music, almost like an NBA arena there on the a couple of the scores table. Said, whoops.
Didn't realize that play was starting back up.
Sometimes you can get lured to sleep there on the TV or the media timeouts.
Stang a mile long on the 3, goes out of bounds, untouched. She looked up the shot clock, saw 4 seconds up there, and fired away. 2:51 to go. Another game where the 5 reserves for Eckerd are going to wind up playing the majority of it looks like. Nice backdoor cut. Larinaga flares it back out. Jude in the corner, short on the 3.
Good cut, just a little bit too soft of a pass, but that's it. They had to get air under it in order to get over the defense, and that time just kind of allowed the defense to rotate to where they needed to disrupt Jude's shot.
Oya Deji handling the basketball. And she'll put up the 3. Nothing but net there.
And when you're down 50, let it fly. I think that's their 5th straight 3-point attempt from outside.
Ends an 8-0 run for Eckerd. Final couple minutes here. Haley Howard left alone, off the mark on the 3.
36 3-point attempts in this game. That's pretty solid.
Yeah, both teams have gotten their attempts up. Eckerd with more success, 12 of 20. Palm Beach Atlantic, 6 of 17. Zoe assessed her 3rd personal foul. It'll lead to free throws for Ania Ross. Eckerd with all the fouls here in the 4th quarter.
So they'll be in bonus. Not that it'll make a difference, but it slow it up a little bit.
First free throw good. We are almost on schedule to get the men to that 4 o'clock tip-off.
Ross with a quiet 3 points, and she's played a lot of minutes tonight, 25 minutes, but only 3 rebounds, and that's one of the things I think Coach Reedus would really like to see her do a little bit more, get some more stat opportunities, just not quite the presence inside that you expect to see from someone playing that many minutes.
A nice lob in over the top to start this offensive set, and it leads to Keeney getting a look from 3. Richards with a rebound underneath. Finds Keeney cutting and stuck with the basketball, passes back out. Only 5 to shoot here. So Keeney left wing, leaves it short, but Brooke Jude has it knocked away. And so Eckerd's chances of getting to 100 again, probably not happening this time. Labs offensive foul. Eckerd stuck at 92 after missing their last 4 shots from the field and not scoring in the last 2 minutes, 12 seconds. Takes nothing away from what has been a 2nd straight sensational offensive performance for the Tritons.
As we talked about their offense, which is, as you said, sensational is the best word to describe it. Here they are given a team under 50, holding them under 50, and that's one of those things where it's easy to get complacent when you're shooting that good and you're ready to get back on offense, but their defense has been outstanding for 2 straight games too, and forcing turnovers, minimizing second chance opportunities, and so you got to give credit there to the Tritons for bringing it on both sides of the floor in back-to-back games.
Larinaga got called for an offensive foul as her and Labs were tangled up. Labs misses the 3, Battle for the rebound. Stang touched it last. And Eckerd gets it back with 47 seconds left. 92-47. So Eckerd can't quite take the timeout here.
You know you've had a great game when you really technically didn't have to score in the second half and you still would be up 5.
Zoe Richards puts her head down, gets to the bucket, scores, and has a free throw coming up to try and match her career high. Octavia Law celebrates it with a cowgirl lasso swinging square dance over on the bench.
and she's got a rapport there. It's not the same celebration for Octavia on each. So you get
it's a bona fide arsenal.
it's quite the leader of the celebrations. And that good job by Zoe.
95-47. Zoe Richards, 26 points. She hit that mark twice last season against Rollins and against Tampa. I'm not sure she was quite this efficient in either of those games, though. 10 of 12 from the floor. 2 of 2 from 3, 4 of 4 at the free throw line.
They're throwing 7 rebounds and 5 assists for her, and there she is still playing defense.
Out of bounds. Stays with the Sailfish. 11.7 seconds left. 7 on the shot clock. And the Tritons up 95-47.
It's very eerily some of the stat line here tonight is as good as Wednesday was. Same thing. 7 of the 10 hitting a 3.
Everyone's rims that one down.
Everyone has scored. A lot of rebounding opportunities for the Tritons. Solid victory today.
Eckerd 95, Palm Beach Atlantic 50. The final score. As